my dear ones. This is a reading for the membership collective to my channel with the topic Love and Spirituality, which was my original reading style when starting this channel as Queen of Cups Tarot. I have been under the weather for a while, and to not risk busting my voice next week, I'm doing your reading already today. And I got a little restless yesterday from all the resting during my illness. So I read in Swedish for the first time for the general public on YouTube. A pick a card reading on my Swedish channel Himlavandrare, which is a Swedish translation of my Finnish last name from Finland. That is Himlavandrare, translated to English, is Skywalker. And it was my little brother, who was a big Star Wars fan from 3 years of age, that made this connection. So thank you, little brother. Please let me know if you have a question that comes to mind for a reading next week as well. A new vote to choose a topic for the upcoming membership collective reading next Monday will be posted on Friday in the membership community. And I will start shuffling your cards, and I use the Osho Zen Tarot, which is great for this spiritual topic. Okay, so when I open your deck here, I see stress together with control in the reversed. So this is talking about you having a lot of stress in your life and doing multiple things in the same time, overdoing things. And we also have the control card here in the reverse. Is the King of Swords. So I will actually read this card a little bit for you. Maybe it's more than myself that feels hit by this. Let's see here if I can. There we have this little fella. There is a time and place for control, but if we put it in charge of our lives, we end up totally rigid. The figure is encased in the angles of pyramid shapes that surrounds him. Light glitters and glints off his shiny surface, but does not penetrate. It is as if he is almost mummified inside his structure that he built up around himself. His fists are clenched and his stare is blank, almost blind. The lower part of his body beneath the table is a knife point, a cutting edge that divides and separates. His world is ordered and perfect, but he is not alive. He cannot allow any spontaneity or vulnerability to enter. The image of the King of Clouds reminds us to take a deep breath, loosen our neckties and take it easy. If mistakes happen, it's okay. If things get a little out of hand, it's probably just what the doctor ordered. There's much more to life than being on top of things. And I probably would want to read the rest of this, but to not bore you, we'll see if we will have the opportunity to circle back to this King of Swords or Clouds. We also have the King of Cups here in the reverse. So it actually shows a picture which would eventually lead to illness, and stress leads to illness. Having too much on our plate leads to illness, and letting go of control and relaxing a little bit, and it's just what the doctor ordered here. Okay, so I call the divine with love and light, and we have past lives here together with stress. So I'm feeling two things immediately here. The first thing is that there's a lot of past life memories that wants to come true to you, and it's not possible to deal with this or digest these memories, feelings, wounds if we are up about doing our everyday chores. And the second thing is that I'm feeling it's very hard for you to relax because of these past lives, or the moon is pressing on you. And it's also fears that comes from past lives, with like survival fears, situations where we didn't have enough food and maybe the cabinet or the room where food was stored was locked, and the key was kept by certain people in charge, for example, your parents maybe. And it was really like knife cutting, the seriousness of keeping oneself alive. For many people today, it's still the same thing. We shouldn't downplay the seriousness of staying alive on Earth today. But in many civilizations, we now have a lot of food security. It's easy to go to the store and buy food. And we tend to pile up a big pile of money to be able to do this. But instead of kind of enjoying the food, the roof of our head, often easy access to clean water, we tend to run around and be like small busy squirrels here. That's having a lot of candles in the air here. Okay, so the Seven of Wands has been the significator so far, but we'll see. Comes another card. And we have the Miser here together with the Stress card. So this is the big pile of money. It doesn't have to be such a big piles, but usually it's maybe more than we actually need for our day-to-day survival. For many people, it's like this. We get a paycheck and then we spend it all. And also the spending is a bit of being the miser, because it's all about what I can get for my money. It's this hysteria of maybe buying a lot of things. It can be shopping addictions. It can be collecting a lot of stuff that you actually don't need. Having a lot of things that actually, mostly I'm feeling like some kind of clutter here with this, the cluttering that needs to be decluttered, so energy can start to run freely. As we have had the Seven of Wands here so many times, I actually want to read this card for you as well. If you think that this is boring, please let me know, but I really love this book and I want to share its many benefits with you. Sorry. How many people do you know who, when they were completely overloaded with too many projects, too many balls in the air, have suddenly come down with the flu or taking a fall and ended up on crutches? That's just the sort of bad timing the little monkey with the pin in his hand is about to impose on the one-man band pictured here. The quality of stress represented by this card visit all of us at times, but perfectionists are particularly vulnerable to it. We create it ourselves with the idea that without us nothing will happen, especially in the way we want it to. Well, that makes you think what makes you think you're so special? Do you think the sun won't rise in the morning unless you personally set the alarm? Go for a walk, buy some flowers, and fix yourself a spaghetti dinner. Anything unimportant will do. Just put yourself out of that monkey's reach. Because all private goals are neurotic. The essential man comes to know, to feel, I'm not separate from the whole, and there is no need to seek and search for any destiny on my own. Things are happening, the world is moving, call it existence. It is doing things. They are happening of their own accord. There's no need for me to make any struggle, any effort. There's no need for me to fight for anything. I can relax and just be. The essential man is not a doer. The accidental man is the doer. The accidental man is, of course, then in anxiety, tension, stress, anguish, continuously sitting on a volcano. It can erupt at any moment. He lives in a world of uncertainty and believes it is certain. This great tension in his being. He knows deep down that nothing is certain and everything is going to have to be let go of at some point. But the miser doesn't want that to happen. It's very typical for people with this energy to remain as ghosts when they die because they can't let go of the life that they lived either, and all their possessions and all the important thing that they did, the house that they built, the furniture that they manufactured or bought, the dresses, even treasures that might be buried somewhere. So this is about probably letting go of your worldly possessions in a way, accepting that this is not a time for piling up properties, goods, things, or a big to-do list. It's actually a time of letting go. So I've talked so much, I probably have forgotten where I were, but I call the 6 elements conditioning and the miser. So this shows that it's not really your fault. It's something that has been hammered into you during your upbringing, that you need to perform at home, in school, at your workplace, and always be beneficial for the people keeping the key to the food storage. So the master, he doesn't need food, he can live on prana alone. Okay, so that's where you're heading. But for right now, you still live on food, and you have learned by being conditioned and domesticated by the people around you that if you don't work really hard, something bad will happen, and at least you will starve. So this makes you, that actually might have been like a very masterful soul coming here to earth, becoming this squirrel miser, and to trying to build your riches on earth to prepare for the hard cold winter. Okay, so even if you are not born in a country that has awful winters right now, you have probably lived past life in these kind of circumstances. So I think the stress is everything that's between you and the master here. I think that's the last clue to getting enlightenment. Okay, so 6 elements: earth, wind, fire, water, spirit, and ether, to join us here today and to give us a clear view reading for my dear collective membership viewers. Courage 8 and letting go 8. Letting go of your courage. Is that the message here? To not be so courageous, to not fight all the time for your survival, like this flower here, fighting for its survival, having a hard time letting go, like clinging on with its thin roots to this hostile place here. I'm seeing like a difficult message here that I don't know how to share with you, but I see that many of you might be struggling even with the will to live or stay put in this place. And the divine message there was not to let go of your life per se, but let go of the things that make it so hard to live. Okay? Let go of the things that makes it so hard to live. So, see where we are at with this now. I'll just put it down like this. Tune in. So, this is your future when it comes to love and spirituality. And this is your now, and this is your past. And we have slowing down, and it's in the reverse. So I'm guessing you have had trouble with slowing down. Maturity is a new beginning that wanted to come. Innocence and participation. I'm feeling like you have a personal task you haven't been able to complete. And this might keep you in a little bit... I feel this is a very... like it's your energy. It's very individual energy. And here comes another energy which would be more more something to celebrate, something where you do things together with a lot of other people. But it's some kind of individual mission here that you haven't been really able to do, or I hate to say perform in these circumstances. Okay, and this is your now, and we have the source here with the miser in reversed and conditioning. So we can see that your soul here is pushing. It's pushing, and it's you're not like this with the controlled King of Clouds. It was never really you in the first place. It's this what has been superimposed upon you by other forces. And here comes your soul and wants to make way through this miser, King of Clouds, Swords energy. Okay, so I'm actually hearing a story. It's actually an old Swedish story. It was about a person that were listening to the priest preaching in a church, but he was mostly preaching about money and goods and, you know, lost cattle, things like this that needed to be retrieved. And he didn't felt like this was God's words at all. And at this time in Sweden, it was forbidden to preach outside church, but he did so anyway, and he preached about the birds in the sky being free, but the humans being like overworking themselves and not being in their true spirit, not being close to God. He was actually sentenced to prison for this, and he died in that prison, so it didn't go too well for him. But I'm seeing like a similar inspiration coming here with you. Okay. I hope you want to end up in prison for this, but it's different times now. And this is the kind of fear that I felt with the moon card that we saw, the past life card, that this has been the consequences for you to follow your soul's road in past lives. No wonder you are scared to follow it now, even if it might be a little bit a better time for you to actually be able to do that. And that we have the outsider here in the reverse. So this shows that you actually have the possibility right now to follow your creative bliss and like whatever you want to do this very moment, and to be able to follow your own soul's road. And it's you know, can see it's not even locked. This door isn't even locked. It might have not been locked for, you know, hundreds of years and still you didn't dare to go outside because fear of the consequences, the conditioned consequences, both upon you right now in this life, but also on your soul and also on your ancestor for so many generations. Okay. So this is the past here, and we have existence. So this is you. This is really all that you need, just being here, you, the magician in this existence. And things will be created on your behalf in the way that grass grows on its own accord. It's not about being lazy, but it's about listening to what's actually needed in this very special moment in time, and deliver just that. It's about finding pleasure in the things that you are doing, and also taking time into finding out where you are supposed to aim your creative powers, what is asked of you from the universe. And then we have patience here, when things are being brought into life through existence, through you, to existence through you, with you kind of meditating on things, and slowly over time you get all the pieces of the puzzle into what it is that the divine wants you to do, if it's a certain thing. So it's not about like running around with the 7 of Wands crazy doing everything, but actually meditating and seeing what needs to be done. And sometimes it's actually like new things are being born out of boredom. When we sit still and just wait. Things will come to you, and you can hear the message of the divine when you are in silence. And here we have traveling, so it's the 8 of Wands. So you have a very special place where you are called and where you need to go, and you're already on this road. It's already, you're halfway there. And we have the 2 of Cups. I saw this a lot when I shuffled. It also came together with the cards that folded, the Master and the 7 of Wands. Friendliness. I'm thinking it's about, first it's about connecting to yourself as an individual, being able to know what's needed to be born inside of you. But it's also time, or it has been time for you for a while, to connect with others, and stay in boredom with others, listening to their stories, playing maybe board games. It's not like your cup of tea, but this person wanted you to play a board game. It can be like you're visiting the elderly home and someone wants you to read a newspaper for them, or it's a child that wants you to play this board game with them, or it can be watching like a television show that you don't really appreciate, or talking about a topic that's not really like your topic, but it's something that comes out of appreciating what you have right in front of you, being mindful of what is and not wanting to exchange it for something else. With this, stress. I can't listen to what you're saying because I'm bored and I'm restless and I need to go and do something. I need to do the dishes. I need to go home. I can't sit here reading the newspaper for you. Or we need to, get food on the table. So we need to not do this board game today. We need to postpone it tomorrow. But I'm thinking it's the boredom here. It's still chasing you. It has chased you and probably me too through a lot of the latest reading. So I'm feeling like I'm repeating myself, but I need to read what comes through the cards. And it's about slowing down. This is like you have missed. You shot your arrow a certain way, but it kind of missed the target here. And the target was, I'm feeling, slowing down and having that kind of slow life that you sometimes see with old people. They just sit and watch through the window curtain. They just took it aside and watched what happens on the street, or they just sit, and you hear the clock because they always have a very loud clock in their house that sounds like tick, 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 tick. And just listening to this, it's incredibly boring, but it's also very, very nurturing for particularly your brain. When I was a young girl, we didn't have mobile phones, we didn't have internet. We actually rode around a lot on our bicycles, particularly, I know. And we hanged out on places and did very repetitive things over and over again. For example, riding with our bicycles up the ramp and then down the stairs, up the ramp, down the stairs. And we could do this like for a very long time. And of course, imagine that this was horses and, all these kind of things that children do. And it was very nurturing for our brains to, just hang around, just doing repetitive things, just being alive. And that's something I'm feeling is lacking a little bit here, where your brain and also your relationship, your brain here seems like it's about to explode, and your relationship is not getting the nourishments that they need. So practice boredom here. It didn't go too well for you. We have both 8 of Wands and the 7 of Wands here. So this with patience and friendliness, listening to this old lady speaking about the past. It's just growing on you like, it's getting stressful. But it's just pointing to something that's a little bit out of tune with you. and with your soul currently. It's the survival fear that makes you run around like this little squirrel with their tail on fire. Okay. And here we have the now, and it's beyond illusion. So we see here existence and beyond illusion. In the illusion, you are stressed out. Beyond the illusion, you have this patience. So we can say that the generation that were able to sit and listen to the clock in the in the kitchen, they were probably a little bit more close to spirit and the everyday, very stressed out modern human. Okay, so we have beyond illusion here and consciousness. So this should be your focal point for this time, to really go into consciousness, to be aware of your thoughts, to be aware of your own thinking, and the little voice that's not even thinking, it's just pestering you. It can be like a constant loop of you need to do that, you need to do that, you need to do that. So it can be as simple as I'm hungry, I'm hungry, I'm hungry, I'm hungry. And it can be like a part of you that says this even though you just had dinner. And for other people it will be, I need a whiskey, I need a whiskey, I need a whiskey. And for other it will be, I need to do the dishes, or I need to do that, and I need to do this. We have different things that's like trying to keep us out of this very spiritual road to consciousness. It's constantly disturbing, and it's almost like a whispering. So for some people, for many people, it can be very hard to get in contact with this unconsciousness. So we'll see, because here you're really guided to consciousness, and see what we can do. Not for you. 6. So the cookie or the whiskey or the whatever you wanted is not for you, or whatever it is that's not for you. I will read a little bit here. 6. Something is being denied you. There are times when it appears that no matter how deeply you desire something, no matter how hard you work at something, the result you seek always seems to elude you. It's as if you don't really get to be in the game, and you feel you're just watching from the sidelines. The appearance of this card indicates that you are not going to attain what you want right now, that indeed your dreams for the exact thing will not be fulfilled. This is a time to radically accept that not everything is available to you when you want it. Take heart, for there are benevolent I know I have read this before, but today, no. Benevolent forces who desire the best for you and have a much clearer idea of what is for your highest good. Rejection is God's protection. Something much better that will make you truly happy is on its way. Trust this. So whatever it is that you're stressing about, it can be a bigger thing than just, the cookie. It can be you need to, climb that mountain, or you need to build that house, or you need to please that boss, or get row or paddle your project to shore. But whatever it is that you wanted, it's not for you. What is for you is consciousness. Staying and getting in contact with your consciousness. So I'm feeling like I'm hearing this, nagging voice, but in this case, it might be a message. So I know we have gone through many topics on this channel. I don't remember them all, but it has been about healing your inner child and becoming a grown-up. And now I'm definitely feeling it's about really coming in contact with your inner voice, with your own consciousness, and to once and for all be able to identify and keep track of that little voice within that wants to get yourself out of yourself. So anytime you are close to finding inner peace, you get restless, and you need to go and do something, anything besides finding peace. So it's almost like a little bit self-sabotage, but this is really important, and it comes like the judgment here beyond illusion together with consciousness. So it shows it's really shouldn't be a big deal for you. You are such a developed soul, so this should be really easy for you. We also have an ace together with a magician, ace of swords. So you already know how to do this, and you have mastered this in lifetimes before. But you are supposed to master this again and again. Every time your soul is able to master enlightenment, it comes closer and closer to Phi, okay? It's like closer and closer to harmony. And first it's like way off and way down, and way off, up, and way off, down. But eventually it comes closer and closer to actual harmony. And I'm feeling that when we get to the flat line, we are probably done with whatever we were, our mission. Then it's done and we do something else. And it might be that for some of you, you will actually reach to this point of flat line here with enlightenment in this lifetime, and you might not have to revisit Earth again. So that's just for some of you, what I'm feeling that. For others of you, you're still curious about this place. So it's not about different stage of development. It's rather what your soul wish to do. Some souls might, be done with the earthly experience and just want to fly around collaborating with clouds or whatever. And for others, this is still like something that they would want to go deeper in. So it will be different for different people. And here we have suppression. And I'm feeling like underneath this mountain, I felt something when I just talked right now with the traveling card here. What did I say? Getting enlightenment. A little bit like this almost prideful energy with being enlightened, that I'm like on this level and other people are on this level here. And this in itself is very close to the King of Clouds that we saw, wanting to go and manipulate clouds. Okay, so it's not about getting away from here. It's not about reaching nirvana. It's about realizing that it's there inside of you all along. Okay, that you can never really get outside of it. You can just kind of distract yourself to not be there. But if you would stop with that distraction here, then you would be able to go beyond here. Instead of being in this game of chess, you would go beyond. Okay. So here we have morality. It's the wife to the King of Clouds here. And sometimes that old lady, that you read newspaper for, can also be a reminder of this, like you being captivated in an old prison of what is kind of asked of you also from others. So it's not that you are just, bored with others and can't stand listening to what they have to say, or to play with them or read for them or cook for them or whatever. It's also about like an underlying stress that has to do with older generation and kind of Puritans, or like this kind of authority and rule, that this is how we do this in this society, or this is how you're supposed to do things to survive, or this is how you're supposed to do things to be loved or appreciated or included, to be a part of. And it's a very strict energy. It's not really loving. Why do you want to be included here? Why do you want to be included with this person? Hello. Is this really something that you would wish to have this person's love or this person's approval? Do they seem as a person that know what happiness is? This person which you're hunting for their approval? Probably not. So that's another type of stress here. Where you are trying to get someone's approval, and it's like you're trying to be loved by a system that isn't really even for you. Like it doesn't even make you happy, and still you're trying to please that boss, or make that head of the family let you have a better place at the dinner table, so next time maybe you will have the grown-ups table instead of the children's table. No, I'm just joking. But It's a lot of oppression here. Very black card. The consciousness is very beautiful, but it's being disturbed. Like here is, you're closing your eyes and you're finding your inner peace. But then you start to think about like all the things that you need to do to get there to your inner peace. Or like all the people that's better than you on what you are doing, and how you should have really come much further along already, or feeling obligated to kind of please people, instead of being in your mindfulness state here. You go into like a workhorse mentality. If I don't do this work here on the field, I won't get my food delivery like later in the evening. And here we have abundance. So if the horse didn't have the work to do, it will be able to go on the meadow all day. Like it wouldn't have to plow the field. So I realize we can't just sit and starve somewhere, but it's really hard to understand these messages sometimes, because if we are human with a human body, we can't just, go out on our in our garden and start to eat the clover there or the grass there. It's not going to sustain us. We're going to become very skinny. This person is sitting here on the mountaintop with his belly full of food. He seems very content. So it's probably some kind of middle ground here, where you need to understand that sometimes, it's just to surround yourself with, for example, food security. If you surround yourself with a lot of food security, for example, you can fill your balcony with herbs and, trees, even small, like trees with citrus fruits on it, like different oranges and all small citruses or something, to just make your mind come at ease that you actually have food security, and grow things for yourself, or learn to cook food, things, whatever you can do to really plant yourself on the earth and get this connection, so that you feel that that you have this security, and you don't have to run around like the squirrel with the tail on fire here. Okay. So it's a little bit opposite here with the abundance and the morality. I guess this is like the old church I talked about, the Swedish old church, where they were discussing like the renovation of the church, and this is the person that wanted to connect with God, like besides the finances of God's church, and the differences or polarities between those two things. So it's almost like this exists in your mind as well. Like one side to you that has like this long to-do list, and the other side that just wants to worship God and be in contact with the universe and be in contact with your own soul, and also be in contact with earth and nature, and being really grounded, and not just floating above like this balloon person here, not really touching the ground. And not touching other people either, because when you are floating above like that, you're kind of isolated, so you're not being able to connect with yourself, and therefore you're not able to be connecting with other people either. So if you feel very isolated, it's because you have isolated yourself from yourself. And when you are able to connect with yourself, you will be able to connect with other people, because then you won't be disconnected and like flying above like this, and all the things that you need to do. So here we have the future. Okay, trust. So it's a lot about trust actually, because it's distrust that makes you run around like this squirrel with the tail on fire. Trust and rebirth. 10 of Swords. I'm feeling this energy again with the 8s that came through, like the 8 of the Strength card, Courage, its name is in Osho Centauro, and the 8 of Cups that came, some kind of wish to just float out of here. But it ties to the Friendliness card here. So I'm thinking the disconnection that you have with yourself has made you disconnected from other people, and that has made you disconnected from your own life, because you can't connect with other people. You have no happiness in life, and why you can't connect to other people is because you can't connect to yourself. So it makes you, again, I'm feeling this balloon thingy that you want to not fly and land on the earth, but actually fly away and not be on earth. And what you're running away from is your own soul. So you can't get in connection with your own soul by running away from earth. You will get connection with your own soul on earth. If you try to run away from earth with this kind of feeling in your body, you might end up like the ghost that's still after 200 years still needs her pearls. Okay, so you don't want to end up like that. So it's not about escaping, it's about planting yourself in the earth, making yourself a part of earth, making yourself a part of nature. And here we have sharing, and it also comes in the reverse here. I'm feeling like you're on a loop where you can't calm down, and therefore you have nothing to offer another person because like it's only this air with you. So you have nothing to contribute with, because you're disconnected from yourself, you're disconnected from source. And you can even be like, I'm saying this with a squirrel with a tail on fire. So it's very fiery energy, like this suppression, traveling, 8 of Wands, 10 of Wands, Queen of Wands. Trying to understand this, I probably need to take an oracle card. So I felt the urge to use a deck that I used for the first time on my Swedish channel yesterday. And it's this Angels and Ancestor Oracle cards. I set the intention that whatever is gained from the lessons learned from this tool will be dedicated to the growth of all beings in all places. Okay. And we'll see what ancestors is what I'm feeling wish to tell you here. Moon. Take note of intuitive messages, and I'll read this for you. Oh. You remember the moon card, that past life card? So I'm feeling it's ancestors, moon, intuitive messages. See through illusions and blockages. The moon is strongly associated with the divine feminine and the energy of receiving. The goddess offers a powerful energy of polarity and balance. She has cyclic energy and is therefore strongly connected to emotions, which often come and go in waves, and to somewhat interesting behavior. So when the moon appears in a reading, you're often being told that not everything is as it seems. The moon has a dark side, just dark, not negative, and can show you what you've been kept in the dark about. Lunar energies are surrounding your life, allowing you to understand what is standing in your way. Not everything is as it seems, and you're being guided to use your discernment. When the moon appears, intuitive or psychic urges are increased, so take note of any feelings arising at this time. They are messages from your soul and angels. The moon shines her light on all that has been kept in the dark, so ask yourself if you're avoiding anything or refusing to deal with something of importance. If so, it could be holding you in the shadows when your destiny is to be in the light. If this card appears when you feel someone isn't being completely real with you, Now that their intentions will know that their intention will be revealed to you. The moon has no secrets. She reveals all. So I think you are keeping a secret for yourself, and it's being kept in this, with the cookie that you want, which you're distracting yourself with. So instead of knowing what you know, what you would know if you stop distracting yourself, you're kept in the dark and not being able to connect with your own fire energy of creation, which is coming here from the magician and from the traveling. And so it's something that wants to be performed, but it can't be performed because you are like this built up energy, and you can't relax, and it's just building and building and building up. And you're building up a resistance to whatever is with this moon. And it's the restless energy in itself that we all need to investigate at this time. Okay. And we have laziness in the reverse, 9 of Cups. Yeah, you're also scared of being lazy, so you can have trouble to relax when you are with other people. If you're not alone, you can have a very hard time of relaxing at all, because this energy is wanting your attention all the time, and maybe calling you lazy if you're not doing a lot of things. So I don't know really how you are supposed to deal with this energy, but if it's on the outside of you, it's very likely that it's on the inside of you. So I will check that out. The Swan Queen, transformation, intuition, patience. Something with their posture that's very similar here. Swan Queen. 13. The Swan Queen glides your way and asks you to look at your reflection in the events of your life. She gives you the ability to see the beauty that has transformed your life from ignorance to wisdom. The Swan Queen lets you know that it's time to go within and seek the answers in your own intuition. Don't look outside yourself for answers now. The true power lies reflected in the still waters of your soul. Now is the moment to meditate and ask for a vision. The power of psychic perception is inherent in you, and the Swan Queen will help you dive deep into your quarry to find the answers you seek. This is also a reminder to allow time to transform ideas into reality. Nothing happens overnight. So, I think it's not like an option anymore. You need to push through whatever the obstacles here, the blockages that's being shown to you. And you need to force yourself. You need to use some kind of, self-control here to... or put up a schedule, or use this miser or this morality energy in good use. Instead of avoiding being in your body, force yourself to be in the body, like make schedules or lists or whatever. Don't be lazy about this. Okay. And then we have flowering. So something that's coming that I'm seeing, but it's coming like further into the future. And it has to do with your relationships and the people that's supposed to meet each other, but they can't meet until you have met yourself. You can't get outside love until you love yourself. And you can't find happiness in a relationship until you find happiness with yourself. And you feel like you're locked in and blocked, but you're actually locked in in an unlocked room. Okay, so you're in a prison of your own making, and it has nothing to do with your surrounding, like the things we can say it's because of that person I can't relax, or it's because they taught me like this I can't relax. It's you that's the boss now. You are the authority, and you schedule your days, and you're not going to get success the way which you want it. It's not for you. So you can only get success, the success that you want and need, by going into meditation. So I feel like I have can't come with the same messages like week after week, but I guess it's like an important message, and it can seem like, oh, it's like something you can decorate your life with, meditation here and there. But this is about making your life into meditation and therefore getting success. It's all about creation and creating things on earth. But you need to get a hang of the creativity process here, which is not about running around and doing things. It's about meditating and waiting for the next step being given to you. Okay. So I hope this helped. Thank you so much for watching, and please let me know if you have a question that comes to mind for a reading the coming weeks. A new vote to choose the topic for the upcoming membership collective reading will be on Friday, posted on Friday. Okay, so until then, take really good care and bye-bye.